that he was guilty of her sister's murder. Jana thought that the outcome might give hope to other families and victims involved in cold cases.
James didn't
Quote, truth never dies. They thought it was going to die. They thought it was so old that we wouldn't be able to follow through with the truth. We miss Jody's love, her sisterhood, and this pain is now part of our surviving life. Friends are there to help me, but they're not my sister. Case cracked. I would like to thank the Seattle Times, the Washington Post, HeraldNet.com, KIRO7 News, and Snohomish.
But this was the story, and that was what I commented, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, I'm in the bathroom right now. I'm in the bathroom right now. Yeah, but I was taking a look at that case, and there's a lot of cases here in the world actually that have taken place. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of innocent people locked up due to the fact of planting of evidence and those things. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, they're in luck, okay? Because I've decided to step up to the plate of these big dogs that are pulling these strings. And, nobody cares if you put a fake case together, you know what I'm saying? That's your prerogative, you know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares if you put a fake case together. Nobody gives a damn about that, because I sure don't. I never will. But that's just it. This is just me. I'm commenting on something. I'm not out here to teach people about things like that. This is stuff that I do because I'm a good person. I'm not a bad person. But let me get back to the whole thing.
CountyWA.gov. Of course, the biggest thank you goes to Christy Arnhart for researching and writing up today's case. We still have plenty of content coming for you right here on the Lord and Arch channel. Before his trial began, a longtime friend asked him if he committed the murder. He said that he didn't want to talk about it, but he probably wouldn't be coming home, and stated that it was a dark time in his life. On August 23rd, 1972, in Edmonds, Washington, 20-year-old Jody Loomis planned to spend her afternoon horseback riding. To get to the stables, Jody had to ride 6 miles, a trip that usually her parents, John and Rosemary, would make with her. This would be her first time taking that trip alone. She decided to ask her 12-year-old sister Jana if she could borrow her new waffle stomper boots. Jana was so excited that her big sister wanted to wear them, she readily agreed.
Let me go back to my comment. Okay.
Jody told her mother that she would be back before dark. She also asked her neighbor, Linda Hook, if she would like to go horseback riding as well. Linda was unable to go, so Jody started the trip herself. When darkness fell and Jody still wasn't home, they made frantic phone calls
It's happened again. Another sign
trying to find her with...
I'm trying to start the video over, but they got
little luck.
They got so many hack apps in this phone that it just doesn't even make sense.
Today's episode is called Mommy Dearest. 2001 was a difficult time in Stacy's life. She had 2 children from her first marriage, and life as a single mother just wasn't easy. She not only needed more security for her family, but companionship as well. That's what was confused and surprised. That's when her boss introduced her to Rise. Believing Mary had been murdered for his inheritance, investigators, even though they found this, we've got a this is one that we like to call bitter cherries. It's March 16th, it is like lightning, 1982 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Carolyn Tuzignalste was started to become ill and went home to rest. First came the vomiting, and then Amy's sister, Anita, in today's case, don't let people, when she was asked why
my son was trying to roll.
Hold on, let me go back.
Around 11 p.m. that night, officers knocked on their door to tell them that Jody had been found dead. That afternoon, at about 5:30 p.m., a couple drove down Penny Creek Road, which would have been near the halfway point for Jody's trip, looking for a spot to target. Work-driven, attentive, and into the...
There's people out here acting like dummies, that they're mad because of what I just posted up there. But see, what they don't realize is nothing's gonna be hidden. I'm gonna get a lot worse than this. I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white. This dude here learned an art.
Practice with their firearms.
It doesn't make a difference. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not here to explain shit to nobody. I don't give a damn about those other motherfuckers. I don't care nothing about what your personal preference is. I don't care what you think. I don't give a damn about that. But the whole key of this matter is the simple fact of this here, you know, that you can look at it. These are people out here, they sit and they watch they watch everything that you're doing because of this right here, because of this reason, because they are not smart enough to get by today. They're dumb, okay? They're not smart at all. And to be honest, they're not getting any smarter. They're actually getting dumber because they're trying to learn something that only applies to spiritually gifted people, chosen individuals. So they're not going to be able to comprehend everything. They're not going to be able to know what it is to be in that light because they're stuck in the dark and they're wanting to stay in the dark, but they want to get the greatness that comes from the light. And that cannot happen because when the light's on, you have only one choice. If you're going to touch anything in the light, everything about you is going to be revealed and it's going to be exposed. They don't want to be exposed, but they want to touch the greatness the light has in it and has to offer. Okay? This part right here, I'm not worried about the story or whatever. It can always be looked at online. Nobody cares about this whole thing right here. Yeah, like I said, they play around with your phone with their Android system hack apps, which is very dangerous on their behalf because they're being tracked. They're being hunted by an enemy. They're being hunted and they don't even realize that they're being hunted. They're fair game. And see, I have sat back and I've warned them, but there is no more warning because even Alan would be against you now. Let me break down another issue to you about the R. Jesus, okay? You can perfectly identify those who do not have certain antigens in their body, okay? Now, let's start with each type, the most common type of people, race. Let's start with the black race, which they call themselves African American or Africans. Let's start with that race of people, okay? They carry one unique antigen within their body, okay? That antigen that they carry in their body keeps them from being burned by the sun, okay? But see, Africans were never known to have long hair. They were never known to have long hair because I'm gonna tell you something. The sun, okay, the morning star, the son of the morning, all those are unique. Okay, the sun is a light. It does emit extreme heat. It does darken the skin, it could, but there was no real history upon that. So we're not gonna go that route. But they were all short hair that didn't have any hair at all because there was antigens there that were missing, okay? There were antigens that were missing that would have allowed that, okay? There is no real history on the Chinese, but back to Africans before I go that route. The Africans shared a antigen that prevented them from getting burned by the sun. It gave them a withstand against a very extreme hot, okay? They were able to withstand extreme heat, extreme things of that order. They were able to withstand like the climate. They never experienced what the cold was about due to their area, due to the country they were in. Go read the Bible and it will tell you, okay? There was never anything called winter, okay? What would have been the purpose of the Lord creating winter that would make us cold, which would emit pain upon us in a perfect state? He created the earth, the cattle, and everything. Now the Lord said that he walked in the cool of the day. So the cool of the day is a preference to if the sun is coming down, which means the earth was warm, which means the cool of the day, there was a breeze. It was neither hot, it was neither cold, but it was cool. It was very soothing to the body, sort of like when you eat mint. That feels very good when you do that, don't it? Of course it does. That is what that preference is for. And a lot of people don't realize that there was no scorching sun, but the sun was a light. There was no winter, but there was cool of the day. Like when it's hot outside and you sit up under the AC. Do you ever wonder why people, while it's real hot outside, and then your body, it was after we sinned that things that were already created took a different effect. The sun became hotter. The cool of the day that the Lord had upon us drifted away. You see, the wind was not man-made. The wind comes directly from the Lord God. And that is what they did not realize. Now, when you go look at Freon, and you go look at them studying with their weird pieces of equipment, how the cool, how the wind, how the higher you go into the sky, it gets colder. It is very cold outer space. The higher you go, further away from the sun you are, the colder it gets. They studied that. Now there's all types of planets out there that they took samples from. Where do you think winter came from? Do y'all think winter has been around? Winter is a new thing. Okay? There have been scientists studying this for years. Let me give you an incentive. Go look at most of your Western movies and tell me how many Westerns you've seen take place in the snow. You didn't. Okay? It was studied. It is also used to do what? One thing. Go back and look at most of your alien movies, and when they go into stasis, when they close the door, what do you see? When they open the door, you see something that looks like air, wind, don't you? You see, most of your supposed cavemen that are found, guess what they're? Ice is used as a preservative, a way to show you that they were preserved. That is why most of your fictions and your stories about cavemen were always associated with ice. And your ice age is not as old as they say. Want me to tell you why? Because there is no way for any human being today living, or even in the 1200s, to have been 1,000,000 years back. And neither do they have a time machine to verify that. So what you're looking at is someone who is throwing a guess out there, or they're throwing something out there to fool you, to keep you from something that I have access to and I know about. You see, they can sit around all day talking about, we'll pay you this after this, but they're going to lose everything in the process of trying me. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are aware that they're not fooling with any type of personnel. Here, I'm one of the only one in the world like this. And there shall never be one unless the Lord God says it is determined by his own hand. I have the dates and times on everything. There is no ice age. at the time, and they said, how you gonna verify to me you was around 40 million years ago? Come on and show me how you know that, and I'll challenge anybody in the damn world right now. But don't get it twisted. As soon as one of you groups of people think that you gonna run and you gonna make a little money, and I find out about it, I'm gonna tell you this, there's something about me you need to know. I know exactly how to prove something going back to 40 million years ago. Want me to tell you why I'm able to do it? Because my ancestors lived trillions and millions of years ago. And even way before that. That's how I can do it. That's called a gift by the Lord God. You see, y'all make it obvious. You see these people out there, you know what y'all problem is? You know what's going, you know when people look at y'all, you know what they say? They say, Alan just caught y'all. He just caught y'all. He easily got y'all. Y'all easily got. As soon as he speak, cars get to put. But y'all smart though. What are you smart at? See, they can see. Just because you get information and you hear something, don't mean you cannot be indicted. That was too easy. That was too easy. That was too easy. I love doing this. That was too damn easy. That was real easy. But the Jesus, it was there's no known history in Chinese of how many different antigens. We know they don't get sunburned. But I do know one thing about them. They have an unknown antigen. To you it is unknown, but Alan knows exactly what it is and what it does. And I've only met one close to even messing with it. The Indian tribe. Now, they vary. Now, let me say, there was only one individual born that was in 1981. That's me, Alan James Dent. That was born with all of your antigens that they sell in the stores today, baby. Your B12, your vitamin E. I have hundreds upon hundreds of different antigens in my body. And without those antigens, all the other races of people will cease to exist eventually. All of your vitamins in the store contain my DNA. They don't need all these other people's DNA. These people found something and it was a missing piece, but they already created something it was synthetic from plants, and they mixed it with other people's bodies. They was messing with animals. You see, getting certain antigens, which that's called synthetic. Okay? But they needed something more. 1981, they came across the rarest blood type in the world. It never existed before in this plane within their eyes. And that was me, Alan James Dent. Your B12 and all of that stuff is not old. That stuff was first introduced to the world in 1981. It was introduced to the world in 1981. Just like a lot of other antigens that they don't give a name to because they don't fully understand it, but they know it helps with certain things. They've studied my blood, my DNA on certain things, animals, and they said, look, it causes this. It causes that. So in the midst of all of this, guess what they did? When they got found out, they started to try to push it aside, hidden, where people didn't know about it, because they know that will be one of the major discoveries. They took my DNA and hid it. They hid me from the world while they made a fortune. Most people tried to find out. Most people who got their miracle products, most scientists who got their miracle products were trying to find out what is the secret. What is the secret that they're using? What is the secret potion? Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. What's the secret potion? Only difference was this wasn't no Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson the way you saw it. It was the reverse of the way you saw it. There was really something powerful in it, and it came from Alan James Dent's body. That was me, and that was me, Lee Bonnet in Chicago, and that is exactly why. And it wasn't even Lily Bonnet. It was just Lily Barnes. It didn't even make a difference. That's right. That's exactly what it is. That's what it was, and that's what it will be. Scientists everywhere have been trying to figure out when they go in the store and they buy these potions and they buy hair products and they buy stuff that help their hair grow and help their nails and skin become beautiful and stuff like that. Help their bones and help their bone marrow, help their blood. They try to find out, and the whole time they were trying to spy, but they had a base of operations set up somewhere else. They were secretly taking it from here. That is why they hid Alan, and they had me secluded. They had a rank set up on what time they would come after I was tranquilized in schools and transport blood, and they had all these different workers and transport my blood and transport my DNA. They were taking my poop, and they were doing it that way. They've been doing it since 1981. They found a gold mine, and they made all of your GNC nutrition vitamins. All of those things are originating from my damn body, and they know it, and they know what time it is. You see, what they were doing wasn't working for them. They were dying off. People were, go over there and look. And you say, look at certain parts over here. Look at these countries over here. Look at you want me to tell you why? Those people were dying because they didn't have the correct antigens, and they were susceptible also to different diseases, viruses that were in the air or that come from the plant life. The plant life was killing them. Certain things in the water was killing them. The water is not always clean. You said, so these people lived not so of a healthy lifestyle. They were dying. The only remnants that survived was the ones that had those antigens, those rare antigens. That is exactly why these people came up with their little weak ass technology, which is this radiation equipment, and they're running around. But see, what they don't realize about radiation is this here. Radiation doesn't kill the antigen in my body. My body has an antigen in it that is similar to radiation when met with certain chemicals from the environment or the sun. But see, they believe the antigens that go through the radiation are called preventatives. They prevent the germs and things that are microscopic animals, predators that are in the air that you can't see, from harming people. But the radiation does one thing: it weakens them day by day. And I'm gonna tell you something. It is not radiation that gives them energy. It is the antigens from Alan Dent's body that does. They attempted to switch it up and make it seem like I was sick. But really, it's not me that's sick. It's them. And it shall soon come to the light. Well, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night.